What is up, everybody? Welcome into the Bat Flip. We discuss everything baseballs. I'm Landon Raby. With me, Duece Thomas. Tennessee goes on the road, gets it done over number 3 Kentucky, and Tennessee does what they do, and that's beat our little brother up north. That's what happens. That's what we do. We did it. It was a little worrisome after Friday, but we got it done. So before we get into everything, do want to tell you about our good friends at Agwani Farms Golf Course. Agwani Farms ranks among the most popular Knoxville area golf courses to host golf events, outings, and tournaments. The course offers a wide range of challenge and playability for golfers of all skill levels. Book your tee times today at agwanifarmsgolf.com or by phone at 865-970-7132. Guys, go check them out. Played there a couple of times this week. And it was a good day on Thursday, not so good day on Friday. So that's golf. So go check them out. We did it. We got it done. They doubted us. They counted us out. But at the end of the day, we had Christian Moore on our team, and that's all we needed. Just a fantastic day yesterday with Christian Moore and his 3 home runs. Just a fantastic weekend to get that series win. It just felt like a super regional, in a way, super regional atmosphere. Like there was a lot of people there. It meant something. There was some chirping back and forth. Two teams like it's not been a rivalry. But Kentucky they've stuck out their chest a little bit. They're probably one of the hottest teams in college baseball, and get the win on Friday night. Even though if Tennessee's looking at that game, I feel like that's a game where Tennessee probably thinks they should win. And I thought that. I know they they get a home run late, I think in the 8th to make it a 2-run baseball game, but it should have never got to that point. Batting just couldn't get going. Pitching wasn't fantastic. You have a couple errors in that game, and it just kind of got out of hand. And you're up on them, and just kind of gave up the lead and couldn't get it back there at the end. So that's when they're probably kicking themselves, because you look back and maybe it's a sweep, but Tennessee did get the job done. So I do want to ask you, what was kind of your takeaways from the weekend?
Yeah, I think Friday you felt like you let that one slip away. And then you kind of put a little pressure on yourself for the rest of the weekend. But ultimately you came out and you pulled through. And Sunday's game, man, it just went back and forth. You felt like you had a comfortable lead, then they answer something. And then, even in the 9th inning, you're sitting there and it's like, oh my God, they go back to back. Like, is this really about to happen? But at the end of the day, it's a huge series win to go up there and just take care of business. Christian Moore, my God, he's just I feel like every week we talk about just, man, he's so good. He does all these special things. It's just every single series. You got guys that step up, but it's like he's always there.
Mm-hmm.
And on Saturday for him and Burke to go back to back to get the game started after dropping one that you feel like you shouldn't have.
Mm-hmm.
And then you score 5 runs in the first inning, you get going really quickly. You found a way, you took care of business, and you come home with a series win. So it's huge. You couldn't ask for. Obviously you could ask for something better. You'd have loved a sweep, but keep winning series. That's all you can ask for. Just keep winning.
Yeah, especially on the road. Anytime you're able to get a series win on the road, you take that. Going back to Christian Moore, this is a statement series for him. I think, we've kind of been talking about it. Tennessee fans have been talking about how good he's played. But I think now the national media is going to have something to say about Christian Moore. Up there talking about Jack Caglione and Charlie Condon and Haken Smith. There's Christian Moore is another one of those dudes in the SEC. And, deserves some of that recognition because he's been phenomenal for Tennessee, batting in that leadoff spot. just kind of your leader, your vocal leader for sure. And he's just been so consistent over his career and gotten better. His approach is good, and he does when his bat touches a baseball, it doesn't miss a barrel. I mean, he's hitting it hard somewhere. I mean, yesterday he hit three over the fence, and even those announcers who had nothing really good to say about Tennessee during a home run call, um, I mean, they were just like, "Well, yep, that's out." I mean, it hurt their feelings.
Yeah.
So Christian Moore is out there breaking hearts of opposing fans and commentators across the country, and it's just fun to see him um, play the way that he's playing right now.
Yeah, and I think even the most impressive part is he's using, all sides of the field.
Mhm.
What Saturday or Sunday he hits two to right and then yanks one to left. Um, just unbelievable. Make a mistake and you're going to pay for it.
Yeah, yeah. Don't walk him. I mean, that was at one point I was saying the same thing about Waldschmidt. I was like, do not throw to
Yeah.
him. I know that kind of last hit he had. Um, was it today or maybe or was it Sunday or Saturday? I can't remember. But it's a bases loaded, and he hits one down the line in right, and I'm like, God, I wish I would have almost rather him walk,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, that
just
was
score one
Sunday.
run and then give up two. But Tennessee, it wasn't easy. It wasn't perfect.
No.
But Tennessee found a way, and they just continue to do that. Um, Pitching, I don't. I want to say AJ Russell fixes a lot, and it probably fixes some. But I feel like the good thing about this weekend and what you're getting so far is like somebody's getting innings where they wouldn't get innings if AJ Russell was here. So I think that's just going to help them out later on as long as AJ Russell does come back. You know, like Aaron Combs needed some confidence, got it this weekend. Um, I think Drew Beam pitched good enough to win. He had some things go against him and gave up some hits, but at the end of the day, he only gave up 3 runs. 3 runs when you're averaging 10, that's winning baseball. I thought Xander was pitching fine. I know he ran into a couple barrels here and there. AJ Causey pitched pretty well. I thought Nate Snead got hit a little bit, but you had some guys that showed out this weekend who haven't normally showed out. That's Aaron Combs. And I thought a big one was getting Marcus Phillips into that late inning situation on Sunday was huge to see him in SEC play. Um, and I think Tony talked about it after the game. It was just like, he's going to be the last one that knows like how good he actually is. So I mean, that tells me it's just a confidence thing for him. And so him getting that last out in that game, I'm sure was huge for him. And it seemed like the whole team was excited for him. They came out and chest bumped him on the mound, stomped on that checkerboard that Kentucky copied us.
What a ugly checkerboard. So stupid. It's so
Yeah.
stupid. No, I kind of wanted to touch on that. When they came out late in the game, when Phillips slammed the door there, you just tell everybody was excited. I remember on Sunday, one thing that kind of stood out was when Peebles came in and hit that sac fly, and Tears scored. Before Tears even walked into the dugout, all the teammates were waiting to give him high fives. He went over and just kind of got in Peebles' face and was like, "Let's go!" Like,
Oh yeah.
"Attaboy, let's go!"
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. It's just you can tell this team really cares about each other and how successful each other are. That it's not like you're sitting there just, rooting against them. You're rooting for every single one of them, even if they're on your heels trying to take your spot. Everyone's rooting for each other. So that one really stood out to me. That was awesome.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Yeah, it's just good to see everybody's kind of on the same page and cheering for everybody. And you don't win a national championship or even in contention for one unless you do come together as a team. And um, you know, with Tennessee's bats right now, you kind of have to be that way because hitting is contagious.
Mhm.
And it seems like and having Christian Moore at the top of that lineup just helps everybody else out. It takes the pressure off a little bit. He gets going. And then usually when he gets a hit, Blake Burke's like, hey, I can't let you outdo me. I got to get one too.
Yeah.
Um, and I know Billy didn't play fantastic this weekend, kind of struggled a little bit, but you know, it's he's gonna find a way. He's that dang good. Um, but yeah, Tears show out. Dylan Dreiling. I thought another guy who I thought played really well this weekend is Dean Curley.
Yeah,
I
he
thought
did.
he had a bunch of hits this weekend and really helped kind of, even though the bottom of the lineup kind of struggled a little bit still, Dean Curley was kind of right there before you got to the true bottom, and kind of gave them a boost because, I mean, we've talked about it. When the bottom of the lineup has some sort of production, they're scoring runs and a lot of runs. It kind of falls off. If it's just those first five guys hitting, and one of them maybe is having a bad day, and then the rest of the lineup doesn't do anything, that's when you have kind of the bats going cold thing going on, kind of like you did on Friday.
Yeah.
So he was able to do that, and I thought he played well in the field. I thought Blake Burke played well in the field. I mean, that pick he had on Saturday that's a professional first baseman.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's maybe the most impressive thing. I mean, you knew Blake or Burt coming into it was, he's going to hit the ball. That's what he
Mm-hmm.
does. He hits home runs. He smokes the ball. Now, did I think he'd lead the nation in doubles? No. But um, the way he's filled in his position is unreal. And he's saving a lot of errors because he's scooping a lot. And
Yeah.
he's making it look easy. But yeah,
Yeah.
that one was at first I was like, no way he held the bag.
Oh yeah.
And then replayed it and I was like, damn, that was
Yeah. Did a little
unreal.
backflip. Yeah. Dude's more
Athlete.
athletic than you get him credit for. I think he leads Tennessee in stolen bases, which is insane too.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's playing well. He's another guy that uses the entire field too.
Yeah.
Um, I know a lot of people shift for him, and I think that's just the dumbest thing I've ever heard because a lot of his home runs are oppo. Now, I mean, when he hits one 450 feet, yeah, that one's probably pulled. But he can hit a 400-yard bomb oppo too. I mean, he has that kind of power. So yeah, I thought he played well again this weekend. Didn't have maybe the amount of home runs he would like when you look at what Christian Moore did, but those two guys are just going to keep going back and forth, and um, I think that race is just going to help Tennessee score more runs. So I'm cool with it.
Oh yeah. I mean, great for us, scary for every other team in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like if when Moore hits a home run, the Burt comes up, you feel like, damn, he might hit one too. Like it's just, I don't know. You can just tell it's like a friendly competition going back and forth. It's like you're not gonna beat me.
Yeah. I know Tennessee's kind of playing around with that DH spot. I wanted to ask you about like what are you just going to try a lot of people as Cannon Peebles maybe helped his case, maybe see some time at DH with that sack fly that he had. I don't know. I want to get your take on what that DH spot looks like because, I know Reese Chapman hit a couple balls hard this weekend, but him and Dalton Bargo still kind of struggled to get something going.
Yeah, it's kind of tough right now because you've given multiple opportunities, and they'll have a great game, then they turn around and have like an offer with 5 strikeouts or something. So right now you're just kind of struggling to really find that piece. I know today, or not today, yes, Sunday's game when Peoples came up, I was like, this is the perfect opportunity. He is due, and it seems like he's starting to get more and more comfortable at his on it like during his at bats. Like they're definitely better at ABs than they had been.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, he's hitting the ball hard at times. It's just right
yeah,
to somebody.
and it's just that's baseball, and
Yeah, when you can't buy
unfortunately,
one.
it's a tough game, and who's to say he doesn't get hot and lead us to a national championship? Anything's possible.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's tough. I know in certain situations, I thought Bargo was like the no doubt answer um, in a couple of series, but then he disappears. So I can't give you a straight up answer. Um,
Yeah.
I think personally, I would love for it to be Peebles because um, coming into the year, I was like, yes, that was a huge get. Like that's going to be huge for us, and it's just not translated, and it may take time. That's fine. But like you said, it's not like he's just an automatic out. He goes out there, he's stroking the ball. He's just unlucky.
Hmm. Yeah. I'm interested to see kind of what they do at that position too. Villeneuve didn't get to see him this weekend. Um, he's just kind of been struggling hitting the baseball as struggling striking out has
Hmm.
been the issue. It's not the batting average is what it is, or just the offer is what it is. But if you're just going up there and striking out 3 times, like it's hard for somebody to pencil you in the lineup. So he's not doing that, and none of those guys are, which is good. Um, they're at least making contact and giving themselves a chance. But yeah, it's kind of been a struggle for that DH spot in the bottom of that lineup. Now, Reese Chapman had a good weekend last weekend and had a good midweek game, and that's probably why he got the majority of the starts this weekend. Um, but another guy who you'd love to see get going too is Hunter Ensley.
Yeah.
Kind of struggled a little bit this weekend. Now he's a fantastic glove, so that helps. Um, but yeah, it's just like it's not bad. Like I mean, people's average is like 230. It's not horrible,
Mhm.
but it there's definitely a drop off when it gets like past Dean Curley at 6th through the rest of that lineup.
Yeah, because let me see which game it was. I think it was it Saturday? Yeah, Saturday we had 14 hits, and I think 13 of them came from Curly up.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
yeah, definitely want to get some production out of the bottom of that lineup again. Just going to help your pitching staff out when they're kind of not depleted, but it's you don't have the same amount of guys that you probably thought you
yeah,
did going into the season. They just haven't worked out. And again, that's baseball. It happens. Got to find some confidence. A lot of that. I mean, what do they say? Baseball is like 90% mental.
yeah.
Um, I
You
mean,
ever
that's
played golf before?
yeah, it's real. It's real. So I mean, this isn't the same thing, but when I was in high school, I was leading off my junior year, and at the end of the year, I was like batting in the 7th hole because I could not. I just couldn't figure it out. Like it was, I would hit it right at somebody, and then I thought it was a good hit. It would be caught. Um, it was just one of those things that just kills your confidence when you're hitting the ball. You feel like you're hitting the ball well. It's just going right to somebody, so you're not hitting for average. You're not really helping very
Yeah,
much, and it just kind of stays on you, and you're just like, God, like
yeah,
just get me out to the field again. I'm done batting.
yeah, yeah. That's what sucks when you feel like you're doing your part, and you're barreling up balls and not swinging at bad pitches, but you just can't buy one.
Yeah.
It's a brutal game.
Hmm.
It really is.
Yeah, I do want to shout out the Tennessee fans who made the trip this weekend. That was
Yeah, that was
it's
awesome.
it's cool to see that much orange in opposing stadiums, and we've seen some of that on away trips that we've been on for football. But man, it's awesome to see. Not take over a stadium, but like everywhere the camera, every place the camera like puts it on, there's orange somewhere in that section.
Hmm.
So that was awesome to see. So props to everybody who got to make that trip. Um, and we'll just keep winning, man. I mean, that was one a lot of the D1 baseball guys, a lot of those guys picked Kentucky. They were the hot team, and again, it wasn't perfect, but Tennessee found a way and used the power of that lineup, used those professional hitters that they have at the top, and got some good performances pitching wise to get the job done on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, it just felt like this series, coming into it and then during it, it just felt like it was so important for, it's your first real, really tough test, SEC test. for both teams, and it was just it's just a huge series win, especially on Sunday. I mean, me and the wife were down here watching it, and I mean, I was fired up. I was saying like Christian Moore kept coming up, and I was saying some bad things, but not towards him, bad things just in general. Fired up, you know. And she's sitting here watching some kind of like reality TV show, and I'm letting the bombs go when he's hitting, tanks.
Oh
So
yeah. Oh yeah.
it's awesome, man. It just the fire this team has, um just the the connection they have all together. I mean, I just think about um Tears. I think about his AB on Sunday. What a freaking AB he had.
Oh, dude, it's unreal.
I mean, unbelievable AB. And
Because a lot of those guys in that situation get a little impatient with having to wait on a ball and they chase.
100%.
He didn't chase. If it was a pitch that he wasn't going to absolutely crush, he fouled it off.
Yep.
And he just waited and they kept throwing it. And it's easy to be like, all right, this one's a fastball. But he made it an adjustment as soon as it came out. And to not only like get to that point in the at bat, but to then like hit one out was unreal. I mean, 7 off-speed pitches in a row, and he just
professional hitter.
Yeah,
professional ball hitter or baseball hitter. I mean, that was Sunday. Sunday was a fun game to watch, and the Saturday was as well. But Sunday it just kind of had that like postseason feeling to it.
Mm-hmm.
We went back and forth, and you get a lead, and then they take it back, and sitting there pissed, and then you ultimately win, and it's just that game had the feel to it, and you could tell the players felt that way too, because we got what they did warnings for both sides after.
Yeah, I didn't get to see what Christian Moore did, but yeah, I think he had words to the third base to Kentucky's dugout, which
if he said anything half as bad as I did, he deserved the warning for sure.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, I was thinking about it before the series. I'm like, hey, you just go into the series. If you lose it, fine, just don't get swept. Because you want to avoid sweeps at all costs, and winning on the road is tough.
Mm-hmm.
But after Friday, the way that you lost that game, I was like, dude, you have to win Saturday and Sunday. Have to.
Yeah.
Like it turned into one of those things where it wasn't. It was like, let's just go win a game, steal a game, get out of there. Let's get back home, play Missouri, hopefully get a sweep during that. But it was like, hey, let's go freaking dominate them the next 2 days after that.
Yeah.
Don't let that one eat at you. Because it could have.
Oh, easily.
And I think that speaks to the leadership of this ball team and definitely the coaching staff. I mean, we've talked about it, the plan to go to Peebles in that situation. The first time he did it, I was like, why? Hunter Inslee doesn't strike out a lot. He's going to hit the ball on the ground. It's going to be fine. And he went to Peebles. And I don't think we think of it like you're thinking of a guy with a worse average going out there. You're like, why?
Yeah.
But they're thinking about, hey, let's get a guy who can put a launch angle on it, get it up out of the infield, and get us a run somehow, some way. Let's not get into a double play. Let's hit it up, and see what he can do with it. And it's also, man, again, we're talking about mental, like that confidence that Cannon Peoples got out of that, and then Kavaris Tears firing him up going into the dugout. I mean, that's going to do a lot for Cannon Peoples the rest of the season. Just that one little thing that, we're probably thinking, why in the world are we doing that? There's a little bit of science to managing a baseball team, and Tony Vitello does a pretty good job of that.
Yeah, I think we said something about this last week or maybe the week before. Um, but every time, he does something where you're sitting there, you kind of question it. It freaking works.
It does.
Like, I mean, he's got that job for a reason, and there's a reason me and you are sitting here doing this. Um, so it's crazy every time he throws a curveball out there, and you're just like, I don't know, man, I don't know about that. He does, and it,
He
it
does.
works. And yeah, I think that's going to be huge for Peebles. He bounced. I mean, he wasn't too far from sending that thing over the fence.
Yeah, that thing was hit pretty good. And I do want to give Kentucky credit. They are a good baseball team. I
Dude,
was I was impressed with them. Didn't really know a whole lot about them, but they are a pretty good, solid baseball team. I don't think they have. They just don't have that star power to win it. I don't think,
hmm
but they're a tough out for sure.
yeah, and I think as just a baseball fan in general, they're fun. I mean, they'd be a really fun team to cheer for.
Oh yeah,
Um,
100%.
I love small ball. I mean, I love home runs and stuff, but dude, just the discipline and not having really a stud on the team and finding ways to win like they do, it's it's
Yeah.
awesome. And kudos to their fans. I mean, they had good crowds.
Hmm.
Um, Now they don't get nearly as loud when something good happens as other places, but
Right.
it was a neat looking place.
Hmm.
Kentucky still sucks. I bet
Yeah, I
everything
don't
around
love
it sucks.
the facility is nice.
hmm
The name sucks. Kentucky Proud Park. Now, if there's a reason why it's called that, and I'm just being a little insensitive, I just don't know. But the name sounds terrible. That sounds
Oh, it
lame.
sounds awful.
Yeah, Kentucky
Kentucky
Proud
proud.
Park. Well, there ain't a lot to be proud of in Kentucky. I'll say
No, not really.
that. All right, let's. Ooh, you mentioned small ball.
Yeah.
We 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 made it hurt a little bit. We were ready for their small ball. Picked them
Oh yeah.
off 3 times.
Oh yeah.
Burt was fielding bunts all weekend long, and Sunday, gets that one, throws the guy out at third. That's smart baseball, and that's knowing your opponent,
Yeah.
scouting them, and they did a good job of, when they got runners on base to not make it hurt too much. And they only had 2 stolen bases on the weekend, so I think you take that if you're Tennessee.
Oh yeah. 100%. I mean, how many did we end up with ourselves? It had to be because I know Burt got one Sunday.
Yeah.
It had to be about the same.
We didn't have one Friday. Let's see if we had one on Saturday. We had one on Saturday, Dean Curley, and then one on Sunday, Blake Burke. So we had the same.
Cool. Not bad. If you'd have told me that, I'd have said you're a damn liar.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you'll take that all day long. Well,
100%.
let's get ready to wrap this show up. Let's get into our MVPs of the week.
Yeah, I think we both can agree on who the MVP is.
Yeah,
I
100%.
mean, there
Yeah, you
there's
go ahead.
others. There's others that had, good weekends, but like you can't ignore this.
Mhm.
Christian Moore.
It's Christian
Man,
Moore.
it is. I mean, he he willed you to victory on Sunday.
Yeah.
Now you had other guys step up, Tears with the home run and stuff. Everybody stepped up, but dude, what he did, just unbelievable.
Yep.
9 for 15 on the weekend, 4 home runs, 9 RBIs. Um, yeah, he's fun to watch.
Yeah.
When he comes up to the plate, it's like, watch out. Like, get ready for the show.
Hmm. Yeah, it's fun to see him. I think I don't think he was, but I wonder if he uses it as like, you hear about Billy Amick, Blake Burke, even Tears, like you hear about those, like the power of those guys. And I wonder if Christian Moore is like, hey, I bat leadoff, but don't forget about me now.
Yeah.
I can swing that thing, and he's hit, I think, 19 home runs this year. So I think he already surpassed last year and has like 50 less at bats. Um, so
What what's the single season record?
24.
That's what. Okay, That
Sonny
sounds right.
Cortez, 24.
That sounds right because I remember we talked about that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, so
Um,
he'll be knocking on the door.
Man, it's awesome. He's just seeing the ball well, but I just can't get over how he can spray it to all parts
Yeah.
with a lot of power.
Yeah, somebody was asking me, they're like, I mean, do you think that what do you think about him like being a professional? Like, do you think he's more second base, more third base? I'm like, dude, the first thing I think of when I think of Christian Moore, a power hitting second baseman, Robinson Cano.
Yeah.
That's what I
Oh yeah.
think of.
Yeah.
Soriano, another guy.
Pretty damn good player to be compared to.
Yeah.
You stay off the PEDs.
Yeah, right. So yeah, fantastic series from him, and he just continues to be an MVP about every week.
He is.
Um,
I think between me and you, one of us is saying his name every week.
yeah, it's just an easy one to pick. I'll go different. I'll go pitching because I think he was phenomenal on Saturday. I'm gonna go Aaron Combs.
That was my
Um,
second one.
just solid outing. 4 2/3, 3 hits, no runs, no walks, 7 Ks, and just kind of slammed the door on Kentucky there on Saturday and got you that rubber match that you desperately needed to win after that. So solid performance from him, and hopefully he's able to build on that confidence and build on what he did this weekend.
Yeah, because that's 2 in a row for him
Mhm.
that he's pitched really well. So
Yeah.
would be huge to get that big confidence boost in him. But yeah, he was one that stuck out to me as well. Just slinging that thing, striking out 7.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty, and he's got a little bit of fire to him when he's pitching well.
Oh, dude, that man is fired up,
Oh yeah, I mean
and
he claps in the glove, and I'm sure it makes
oh, it
opposing
pissed me off.
dugouts a little mad,
I'd be
but
so mad,
yeah,
but
he doesn't care.
no, at all.
And when he's got that confidence going, it's hard to beat.
Yeah.
Those that junk that he throws is nasty.
Oh, it's gross.
All right. Well, that's about all I got. Anything else for this Kentucky series?
I don't think so, man. It was a huge series to win. You want to beat Kentucky in literally everything. Um, so you did. You
Yeah.
won the series. We have Missouri next weekend.
Yep. We got Western Carolina in the midweek, and then we got Missouri at home this weekend. So we'll be there Friday and Saturday.
Bring the brooms, baby.
Yeah. Just that gets going on Thursday. So make sure you're aware of that.
Okay, so it's
Different
Thursday
weekends.
through Saturday.
Yeah. So we'll see you guys. Thank y'all for listening, and we'll be back next week. I always do this.